Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a nice little break and got a refreshment of your choice. We are definitely not finished. In fact, you could say we're just warming up. Next up is a session that really speaks to the heart of the open cloud security movement, because security shouldn't be a luxury. It shouldn't be something for only the biggest enterprises with the biggest budgets. Security is for everyone, and our next speaker is here to show us exactly how to make that real. Please welcome Urvesh Thakkar from Circles.Life, a seasoned security engineer with deep experience building lean, effective security stacks for cloud teams. And in this session, Urvesh is going to walk us through how to set up a fully featured security operations center using open source tools, covering everything from security information and event management, cloud security posture management, EDR, that's event detection and response, and I believe sprinkling in a little bit of security orchestration, automation, and response. So thank you very much, Urvesh. I'm very excited for this session, and thanks for coming and joining us, and take it away.
Right. Thank you so much, Matt. I'm glad to be part of this. And hello to everyone. Hello to all the participants. I'll be without wasting much of a time. It's a quick session. I want to keep some room for Q&A as well. I want to hear out the questions from you. So I'll just directly dive into the session. And this session would be a kind of a bit unique, a bit different, because this is one of a kind session wherein I jump on to the demonstration and to the practical, quick demo first, and then the theory part. Usually, people explain the theory and then we jump onto the demo, but this will be kind of a unique session wherein I'll jump on the demo first and then the theory part. And I'll come to the reason why. And that is why this session is kind of unique and justifies the name that security is for everyone. So the entire session, the session has a specific agenda. One, I'll be talking about why cloud is quite normal these days. Why it is, why it is, you can say, a common thought to open source your security operations. Does it really work? What are the advantages or disadvantages of it? Then I'll be quickly deep diving into how you can set up your own lab within less than 15 minutes. Like, in India, I am from India, right? So here in India, Domino's Pizza, right? So they take around 30 minutes of delivery time. They have an assured delivery of 30 minutes, or your pizza is free. But even less than that, I'll basically demonstrate how you can set up your SOC stack. And again, right, I said that I'll have room for Q&A, so that I can address some of the amazing questions from you all panel, you all audience, right? So Matt has already given a great introduction about me, but I'll just quickly wade through myself. So I am Urvesh, and I'm currently working as Senior Security Analyst at Circles.Life. I have over 5+ years of experience. I hold some of the certifications that are well known in the industry. You can connect me with me on LinkedIn. At the same time, if you ask me who am I apart from the professional life, I am an aspiring music producer as well. So let's say if you don't want to connect with me professionally, you can head over to Spotify and listen to some of my tracks. That is something I do out of the cybersecurity world. So that was a quick intro about me from myself. And I'll directly dive into the cloud now. Okay, so this is where it might be, you can say brain scratching for you people, that why there's a demo first and then theory, but then you will get to know the value of this particular demo piece over here. So what I'm going to do right now, as my screen is visible to you all, so I will basically launch a Terraform script. So there will be a Terraform script, and don't worry, whatever that I'm demonstrating right now, I'll be sharing the code source with you all. So because it's open source security conference, right? So I'll be sharing the source code that I have pushed on GitHub, right? So the reason I'm performing the demo first is because let's say we have next 10-12 minutes of the session, right? In the next 10-12 minutes, while I speak about the theoretical part, I want to give you an idea that how efficient it is. So, by the time my theory ends, before even that, we will have a virtual machine set up on Google Cloud. We will have the Hive as case management tool. We will have Cortex for alert enrichment, and we will have NA10 as our SOAR engine, spin and ready in our virtual machine to use and to be integrated with our other tools like our SIEM stack or our EDR and so on. So that's the purpose of this entire session, right? So while I'm talking, I'll just spin up this Terraform code right now. And by the time, or even before my, theory ends, the VM will be created with all the components up and running into it. So even before I go into it, like this is my Google Cloud dashboard, right? So you see there's no virtual machine right now already created, or everything is live and right in front of you. So there's no virtual machine created. There's nothing over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to execute the script Terraform apply. Okay. So I'm not going into deep dive, into what, like I'm not going into the technicalities or the technical jargons on how Terraform is installed or how Terraform and all works. The purpose of this session is to make you understand that how quick and how efficient it is these days to set up your own cloud security monitoring stack with very, very less, you can say money on your pockets, right? All you need is one script, little bit of investment that you do in your VM side. That's it, that you pay to the cloud service provider. Rest, the tools are all open source. Let's say the Hive or N8N, it has an open source variant, and even Cortex for alert enrichment, right? So that's the purpose. So as you can see over here, I just click terraform.exe apply. This is the command that I'm passing on to it. And I'll quickly pass on to the values that I want to create this virtual machine in my project, which is OpenSOC over here. And I'll just quickly enter the other required field, the service account, which I'll be using to create this. That's it. It will ask for a confirmation. I'll choose yes. And the magic has started now. Now I'll minimize this. I'll go back to the presentation and let the magic happen, right? Now, if I just click a refresh right away, you see a machine is being created right now, right here in front of you, right? So let the magic happen. We'll come back to this and I'll move on to the next slide by the time. So I'll go in the presentation mode again. All right. So coming to the theoretical part, we are talking about cloud security today. And back in those days, around, you can say 5 years back, 3 years back, cloud was not normal, or 7 years back, cloud was not normal, at least for much of the organizations. It was like, okay, you are a cloud company, you are on cloud, it's a big thing, because on-prem was a dominated market holder at that point in time. But now, if you ask me today, if you ask the statistics, cloud is now the new normal. It's very normal for companies for using cloud these days, right? So there are various reasons to it. Let's say adoption. So there are been reports, like such as, one of the report by Edge Delta, which estimates that over 90% of the organizations are using cloud in some or the other ways. Then spending, right? So Gartner, the the same company who releases the magic quadrants and those metrics. So Gartner forecasts that by the 2025 and this year itself, the total expenditure that organizations make on cloud infrastructure is hitting up to $700 plus billion, right? So which is huge. Means companies are paying money, companies are investing in cloud. Then gold mine. The global cloud native market applications was like around roughly 7 billion in 2023, 2 years back. And it is anticipated to cross a CAGR of like 23.8%, which is like doubling at, or you can say tripling at an enormous rate right now. And there are wide choices in cloud. So it's not just, earlier it was like, there was one cloud service provider with maximum of the features available and others were still adopting to it. But today, there are companies that you have not even heard of, and they are providing their own cloud services. They are providing their VPS services and all, right? So 87 of the enterprises today have adopted multi-cloud. It's not just that you're just using AWS, you're just using GCP, or you're just using, let's say, Azure. I've been working with organizations who are using Azure plus AWS plus GCP plus Oracle and whatnot, all together, all integrated, right? So today cloud is now quite normal. And with this change in, infrastructure trend that has happened, open sourcing security operations on cloud is also quite normal and quite understandable these days. Why? Because 47% of the small, businesses that, are there today, they say that they have a limited budget, because of which they cannot focus on cybersecurity. Hence, open sourcing security operations is mandatory, or as you can say, one of the most easiest and the cheapest options. Then mindset, right? So cloud, or basically it simply the enables, when we say cloud security operations, that is an open source environment, it enables the organizations to start focusing on security. So the companies who have the very minimal budget or no budget at all, or they have not thought of spending anything on security, they can also create some room from their financial financial settlements, and they can allocate some budget for the just the virtual machine that we are hosting on the cloud. Rest everything is quite open source. Then why it is again a very beneficial thing? Availability. Because cloud has a very widespread adoption across organizations, I already said, and there are n number of open source security tools now that are developed across cloud. It's quite customizable, it's quite flexible. Moreover, you don't need anyone's, you can say, support, or there's no mediator in between, there is no closed code. It's open source code, right? You can modify the code as long and as much as times you want, basis your needs. You can just tailor your code, right? You want to change the entire tool, how it functions, you can change the entire functionality. It's quite possible. And then there's scale as you go. Most of the cloud providers, that they provide pay as you go model, right? Similarly, if you open source your security operations, you can start with a bare minimum infrastructure. As I am already doing. It's just one VM. It is hosting 3 of my security tools in just one VM. I start with bare minimum. And once, I'm familiar, and once I have more budget, I can, add more and more to my security stack, because it's open source SOC, right? It's not something that usually vendors do, that if you're purchasing a SIM tool from me, purchase this all other packages, then it will be more cheaper for you in the long run. That's not the case over here, right? Now, it's not that I'm just promoting open source security operations, and I'm just telling all the companies who are paying money, just go back to open source cloud SOC, and just don't pay any money to the great vendors out there. But there are still drawbacks, which I'm coming over here right now. Because it's open source, right? The tool it might self, there are scenarios where the tool itself is quite powerful, but the documentation is the main challenging part in most of these open source tools, right? So that is where the complexity increases in adopting open source security, open source cloud security mechanism over here. Then one of the drawback is you need a subject matter expert. Let's say even if you don't have a vendor in place, you need a person who is good at cloud, who is good at security tooling, and other areas. Second, we have limited support, right? So that's the advantage. It's a pro bono basis. When be having a vendor is kind of a disadvantage also, because everything is streamlined through the vendor. At the same time, if there is no vendor in place, you have a very limited support. You are all alone, right, in the battle. Then compliance is one of the drawback. Many organizations do need to set a compliance standard, that the tool that they're using should be FedRAMP compliant, should be compliant with some other tool, right, with some other standard, as per FedRAMP, or as per NEST or whatsoever, right? Most of these open source tools, they do not have a compliance, right, because they are open source. So that's one of the issue. And accountability, if something goes wrong, who is responsible over here? At least in case of the vendor, we can hold the neck of the vendor, hey, what you have done. But here accountability is a big concern. These are some of the drawbacks over here of open source cloud security setup. But at the end of the day, it's still great. Why? Because it's quite evolving, it's quite new in the trend, and we have a lot of community power. See, today we have this conference over here right now, Open Cloud Security Conference. There are n number of people who are working on open source security. So there's a great community now for open source and open source security, especially over cloud. Then it is cost efficient. Again, I've already covered that point. It is flexible enough. And even if there are challenges, it has a learning curve, which will enable you to learn and grow over a period of time. So that is the advantage of, open sourcing your cloud security operations center, or open sourcing your cloud infrastructure in terms of your security stack. Now, how this entire setup that I just, I did a Terraform apply, right? The demo that I just did a while back. How it all works right now is, so I have deployed a Terraform code, which is connected to my Google Cloud account, which will create a virtual machine. Now that virtual machine will pull, the Docker files from my GitHub repository, install Docker Compose and all the required components that you need for containerization, and automatically install the Hive for case management, Cortex for alert enrichment, and N8N as a SOAR engine. So 3 security stack issues: the case management. Then if you have a case management, you need something to enrich your alerts, right? Then you have Cortex. And to automate all of this, you have N8N as a SOAR engine. All of this is running inside Docker containers. That is what one script does. So power of one script, and you can automate this entire stuff. And you see, I'm going back to my screen over here. I'll just refresh this page very quick. And this is my IP address that is created, right? External IP. I'll copy this. I'll visit this IP with the port 9000. It says a warning because I'm not using any SSL. Just ignore it for now. And I have the Hive right loaded in front of me, my case management tool. I'll open port 9001 on the same IP. I'll continue again. Because it's a demonstration purpose, I'm not using any SSL or something over here. And when I click update database, C Cortex is ready and it just need to update the database. Within a minute or two, my alert enrichment engine is ready. I just have to create and sign up account and that's all. And on the same IP, if I visit 5678 as a port number, and I'll continue over here, and I have my SOAR init and ready to be used and deployed, and boom, I can create automations, I can create workflows out of it. So now I'm not entering into the details, because we need to save time, and with the respect of the time that I've got for the conference today, I won't be deep diving into how the integration is working or how this we will be integrating with a SIM tool. I will be coming up with write-ups and all, and platforms like Open Source Cloud Security Conference. There will be many more such sessions where we can have a dedicated sessions. The purpose of demonstrating this with you all was to make you understand that, see, it's been just around 10, 12, 15 minutes or so. And boom, within the time that I completed my talk, you have your 3 security tools ready to rock and roll. Your Hive for case management, Cortex for incident enrichment or alert enrichment, and you have your init for SOAR workflows. So this is the time with even a pizza delivery boy will take more time for delivering your pizza. So you see, while you are getting your pizza, you can basically expand the security stack. And yes, you ask me about flexibility. You want to replace Google Cloud over here with, let's say, AWS. It's all up to you, your choice. You want to replace it with Azure, all up to you. You want a mix of AWS and Azure, it's all flexible, all up to you. Apart from these 3 tools, you want SIM also to be a part of this stack, let's say Wazoo or Elastic or Kibana or any other SIM tool that you can deploy to be a part of this stack. So you get 4 Docker containers. You can do that. You can spin up your SIM plus case management plus alert enrichment and plus SOAR all in one machine within less than 15 minutes. So the purpose of this is not to show you that how you can spin this. The purpose of this demo is to make you understand that how easy these days is to enable and to start your journey for open sourcing your cloud security. And the community and the tools are so powerful enough that it's not always that you need a vendor or you need a heavy amount of pocket to start your security infrastructure. Any organization, any company, even as an individual like me, can set up a mini home lab and can start practicing around it. And this is just one of the demo, right? There are thousands of tools. One of the greatest tool that I've discovered, Prowler, one of the session organizers, right? So Prowler is open source CSPM. I've been using Prowler for many of my clients now, and it does CSPM like a pro. It will tell you what controls are failing, what controls are passing, and which compliance you are abiding to, and which compliance needs more attention, which framework needs more attention, right? We have Wazoo as a SIM stack. We have the Hive, Cortex. We have Velociraptor. We have Caldera for red team simulation. We have Anytime for SOAR engine. We have Shuffle. So the list of tools I can, just add and more and more logos on this particular slide and make you understand that how easy and how efficient and how great it is these days to set up your own security stack. And now coming to the end of the presentation, you might ask me, hey, you said that you will share the code and all. So here it is. So you can basically drop in this URL into your browser. It's my own GitHub account with the name hello-urvesh. It's something you can easily remember, right? Even if I'm not able to share it to you via the participants link or something, it's just hello-urvesh and open SOC, right? Here I have actually made it available for you guys. If you see the zip file, inside this zip file, what it is, I'll just quickly demonstrate it to you, right? So this is the zip file wherein you have the Terraform executable, you have the main.terraform file, outputs.terraform file and all the required files that are used to spin up the VM. That is there inside the zip. You have your Docker compose for your the three services, and there's a startup script that manages all of this in an automatic manner. So I have, dropped this entire repository for you all. You can just, basically have a watch on this repo. I will be, updating more and more things on this repo. I'll be updating more things over my LinkedIn or, channels like Open Source Cloud Security Conference. And with that being said, that is all from my side for the presentation, and I hope I have given enough of room for Q&A now, right? So I am all open to questions. I'm not sure if I'm before time or after time, but I'm happy if there is more time remaining, right? So I can cover up more questions. Someone has shared a link in the chat, so that is not the link that I'm sharing or I'm referring to right now. I can just quickly drop in the link for you guys on chat. I'm not sure if you will be able to access it through the chat or not, but anyways, I'm just opening this page for you. You can remember this link. It's just my name, hello-Urvesh and OpenSOC. I'll just share it with this everyone. Yeah. All right. So any questions? I'm all open to questions. For any kind of questions, right? You can have, apart from the entire talk, within the talk, if you feel anything you want to, ask, I'm all open for questions. All right, thank you for the feedback. Okay, I think I have some minutes left or a few time left with me, right? I see a few people have raised their hands. You can drop your questions there on the chat box. If there are no questions, guys, at least I'll be appreciative if you can share your feedback. It will help me to, curate more amazing content like this for you all and share it with platforms like this conference, right? I am not seeing any questions. That's okay. Next time, I would love to see how you dive into Init and Azure SOAR. Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, I have a lot of these things planned, and with communities like Prowler and with communities like Open Cloud Security Conference, with these amazing folks, I'm sure there will be more and more which we can touch upon. Overall, the entire you can say the focus of this particular session was to make you understand that how easy it is to basically set up your own SOC within a few clicks. And you don't need any prior experience or knowledge or something like that. It's just boom and a click of a button. I think over time, it's already 3 minutes over time. Cortex is an analyzer to be used under the Hive, right? Yes. So let's say you have your alert inside the Hive. There's an IP address. You want to enrich it using virus total or threat intel. Cortex is capable for doing it for you. So it's an analyzer under that you can use under Hive. You can have to integrate those services. All right, folks. All right, everyone. It was great interacting with you all. I won't take much of the time for the next speaker, and I'll drop off. And I hope you all connect with me over LinkedIn and stay connected and tuned for the entire conference. Even I'll be there and as a participant in other speaker sessions as well. See you soon. Stay connected. Have a great day ahead.